Hello, what's up? Welcome to Confidently Uncomfortable. I'm your host, Jago, health and lifestyle coach, and not-so-regal confidence queen. Coming at you with the real, the raw, and of course, the uncomfortable. My mission is to show you that to be confident, it has absolutely nothing to do with being perfect or having it all together, and everything to do with you getting uncomfortable and pushing your limits. Thanks for joining me. Let's dive in. What is up, y'all? Happy to have you here today. Mostly because I'm not going to be talking in this episode the whole time, which is great. I love having guests on, but particularly this special guest. So before I give her away, which you read the thing, so you know who she is. Well, you know her name at least. But if you don't know her, you need to know her because this woman is amazing. So if you are ever struggling with feeling comfortable with like who you are, or if you feel like you're a little wacky or awkward, or you're in a situation and you're constantly like, what are people gonna think? This girl freaking owns her awkward. So this is all about how to own your awkward and just be you. And she actually really helped me with that as well in my career and just embracing it. And if you ever feel like this, then you have to listen to this. If you ever just need a good laugh, you need to listen to this because Megan Yelaney is not only a successful, thriving business coach and life coach, she is an actress and singer and just a complete total boss babe. Like, I'm obsessed with her, so I want you to be too. So I'm looking forward to you listening to this episode. We get into a lot of different things. So Megan started out as a fitness coach after she was doing like acting and singing. She also got into fitness, and then now she's turned into life and business coaching, and she's absolutely crushing the game, scaling into multiple six figures. And it's just so cool to watch her just thrive. And it's all through passion and love, and also it's through embracing her awkward. So what that means is just truly being herself, and she is so authentic, and it's so rare to find someone so authentic out in the coaching world a lot of times. So to have her here is just really such a pleasure. I just felt so lucky. So we'll be diving into all the things. So overcoming obstacles and limiting beliefs, how she worked through some different things. We even get into a little Harry Potter talk, which you might be surprised from what you hear on that. But just looking forward to just diving into this with us. So thank you for being here today. And here it goes. Okay, side note, I don't know about you, but in the winter, my skin gets hella dry and it's just not always as fresh and as happy as in the summertime. So I'm so thankful that I am consistently using Frey skincare. Like, I'm so thankful that I have a skincare line that I can use every morning and every night and feel super good about it. Something that's super awesome is that not only are they 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and satisfaction guaranteed, but they are designed with a sweaty skin in mind. So if you're like me and you sweat buckets when you're in the gym, you absolutely want to try this out. So their skin line, they have a lot of different options, but I will tell you right now, you need to head over to the site. I'm going to give you the link in the show notes, but you are getting 50% off of everything. And guys, I use everything. They have like a scrub, they have a Glow Me that's like a nice tinted moisturizer. I'm not a makeup person, so it's so nice to have something that gives me good coverage without feeling like it's a million steps. And no, I'm not going to do a YouTube video on it, but I do have some videos on me just trying out all the different products. So check out my Instagram if you'd like. But before then, make sure you go and look for yourself with the products. Again, it's 100% guaranteed. So if you try it and you don't like it, you can return it and get full money back. But listen, I've been using it for almost 3 years now, and I absolutely love their products. I love what they stand for. I love that they're vegan, and I love that they freaking plant trees as a way to give back to our environment. So if you are looking for some new products and a good skincare line, I highly recommend you try them, especially going into the winter months. So let me know what you think, and if you have tried them before, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. All right, guys, you are in for a treat this week. I am so excited to introduce you to one of my really good friends and an amazing, amazing business coach, Megan Yelaney. I just cannot wait to have her just dive into her life, everything about who she is, and just how it's going to impact who you are, because she shows up 100% her, and I just, I'm obsessed with her. So thanks for being here today, Megan.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm so excited and excited to talk to your people. If they're anything like you, they're awesome. So it's going to be fun.
They're awesome. They're cool with being a little bit confidently uncomfortable. So I think you get
Love
that.
it.
the pretty awkward. Um,
100%.
so I want you to just tell all the people listening like a little bit more about you and like where you come from, start from scratch, maybe from birth, wherever you want to start on the timeline, Megan.
Okay, it was 6:16 a.m., 1987, June 14th. So that's my birthday. If anyone wants to send me anything nice on June 14th, Flag Day. But just to fast forward, I grew up in Long Island, New York, and I'm currently living there. And I should put quotations around there because we travel a lot. But that's where our home base is. And grew up there, had an awesome childhood, loved it. Really got into musical theater. My family's background is in musical theater, so I've been born and raised doing that. Started singing when I was 2, and it's been my passion my whole life. And then decided to go to school for marketing instead, and still pursued musical theater and film and TV. Moved to California to go to college, San Diego State, go Aztecs. And it was the best 4 years ever. So much fun, beautiful, warm, and just, it was really hard to leave. If you've ever been to San Diego, you never want to leave. So it was just an incredible 4 years. And while I was going to school for marketing, I was commuting to and from LA to pursue theater and film and TV, going on lots of auditions. It was great. It was fun. And then I decided to move to LA and really give it a go right after. So majored in marketing, and then was like, just kidding, we're going to go to LA and pursue acting. And I did what a lot of actors do. I got the typical side jobs. I worked at a sports bar for 2 years, cocktailing. I did background work on film and television, all that stuff. And I started to work professionally in theater all around the country. And I moved back home to New York in 2012. So I stayed in Southern California for about 7 years. 7 years, from 18 to like 25, and moved home. And that's when I started, actually, my online business started around that time. I started to get more serious about it in 2013 while still pursuing musical theater, starting to book gigs all around the country. And that was incredible. Absolutely loved it. It's still my number one passion, but it just became like such a burden financially, because even if you're booking gigs regularly, unless you're on Broadway nonstop, it's kind of hard to make a good living doing it. I was making okay living, like I was surviving, but I wasn't thriving. I wasn't like passionate about it in the sense that I wanted it to be my income. And it actually started to make me less excited about it. I was like kind of not resentful, but it was a job. It wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't a passion. And I didn't want that. I was like, this is my first love. Like, I want to like really keep that. So I started to dive into my business. I started with Beachbody in network marketing in 2012. Technically 2011, I signed up. And then I would say beginning of 2013 is when I actually took it seriously. I met my now husband, and just like something clicked where I was like, all right, I could see this future, and we have big dreams. We want to travel. We want to be entrepreneurs. And that really lit the fire under me to start treating it like a business. And it was really that. It was just a flip of like my mindset to go, there's nothing different between me and all these women succeeding. I go to these events and see all these women getting accolades and recognition and all this stuff. And I'm like, they're just normal, which was really inspiring. And so I decided to dive in, and within a year and a half, I was able to quit all of my side jobs, got that to a full-time income, and was just able to perform and do that business. It was such a joy. I didn't have to cocktail anymore. I didn't have to do background anymore. Amazing, because I hated doing it. And it just was, I finally was doing something that filled me up, and built that to a 6-figure business, was in the top 50 of the company for a little bit, and loved it. Like, I absolutely loved it. Great company, really good culture, just good people. But I always felt this like pull to do more. While I was in that company, I was doing a ton of personal development, a ton of just growth. I was really growing as a person and getting a lot of skill sets that, not that I couldn't use it in my business, but I was really limited in how I could get compensated. So I could only get compensated if someone signed up for the products or as a coach on my team. And I just felt really limited. I was like, I have all this knowledge and all this experience. I had taken courses, classes, coaches, but so much stuff. And I just felt like I meant to do something else, like something more. And I dove in July 2017, joined my first group coaching program with Amanda Bucci, where I met you, which is so exciting, who's now one of my closest friends. And that just like changed everything. Started to do my own coaching outside of that company. And about like 6 months or so later, really dove into life and business coaching, and now have been full-time business coaching for about a year and a half. And it's just like, I finally feel like I found my stride, I found my purpose, and I can't believe what I get to do every day. It's as corny as it sounds. I truly love waking up every day and doing what I get to do. And it's a blessing. And I still am performing. I'm doing a show in February of 2019, or no, 2020. Wow,
Yeah.
almost 2020. Crazy. So I'm doing a show next year performing, and it's like, it's just cool because I get to pick the shows I want to do because I'm not doing it for the money. So it's really nice. So that's kind of my long story short-ish in a way.
Class and putting into a very condensed version. I love the SparkNotes version because, God, it's just amazing to see someone that you were so passionate about so many different things. I mean, y'all, if you heard her sing, she sings me happy birthday. It's been 2 years now, and I literally cry every single time. She's so freaking gifted. But the fact that like you saw that you wanted to continue to pursue your passion, but then you also wanted the freedom to not have a ceiling with your business, to dive deeper into that and continuing to do that for yourself is really cool. I love that about you. And then the other thing that really stuck out to me is that you went into a realm where other people were succeeding with business and you said, I'm no different than them. Like, and I think a lot of times as women, we compare ourselves and we hold ourselves back thinking like, I can't do that. Like, there's no way, as if there's just we're putting everyone else up on a pedestal and then we're pushing ourselves into a hole. Right. And
that's a good way to put it.
And seeing you not using that as an excuse, even with your talent, like a lot of times people can be very negative towards being an artist and following their passions. But instead of saying like, I'm stuck here, you're like, no, I'm going to continue to do that, be passionate about it, and have other passions in business and help other women find that freedom. And it's something that I love about you is you don't stop with yourself. You are helping so many women. It's so cool. So
thank you. Yeah, it's been a journey. And it's like one thing you said too, I actually never really talked about this on a podcast or even in my own story, but it was really hard to not lose that identity, but sort of going from being like full-time pursuing musical theater to full-time business. And I felt that other people would judge me for giving up, or, oh, she gave up, it didn't work. And when really it was working, I was getting gigs. It was just like such a grind, and a grind that I wasn't excited to do. And I remember hearing this like quote a long time ago that was sort of like, if there's anything you like besides musical theater or besides theater, do that, because that's how hard it is to make it. And I was like, oh gosh, there's a lot of things I like to do besides this. So maybe that's a sign. Again, I'll never not do it because I feel if I don't sing every week in some way, I'm just like, I'm not living my life. It's so weird. I feel like off. But it was a hard transition mentally. I felt like people would judge me for giving up and think, oh, she's, just wanting to make money and all that. And it had nothing to do with that. It was like, yes, I did want to make money, but I didn't want to hate performing. I wanted to keep it as a passion, and it was starting to become something that I resented. So I wanted to stop that. But that was tough. That was really tough, like losing that identity in a sense.
I love it. But honestly, like, when you release the outcome of losing the identity and just adopted it as like creating a new identity, you freaking thrived in both aspects. Like, I remember losing passion with fitness because I was working in a gym from 5 a.m. to 9 at night, but I didn't work out. I hated it, and releasing the outcome of that and being able to transition out of it was so good for me. And I think that that's something that you did too, which is really awesome, because sometimes women struggle with that because they feel like they're failing when really it's no, you're just redefining the norm. So I love that. Yeah.
I love how you put that. Good.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that you do that with a lot of your things. Is speaking of redefining the norm in your business, like, you as a business coach, I want you to dive in a little bit more about you. Like, you really took who you are, and instead of having to create this like business professional, like suited up Megan, you get to like show up as you. And I think a lot of times as women, even if we're going into a work day, into the office, we feel like we have to show up as a certain person and hide who we truly are. Like, if you were talking to someone with your experiences, what would you say if they were struggling with that and really being genuinely who they are?
Yeah, I love talking about this. This is like one of the main like pillars of my content, I'd say. And because this is truly what I think grew my business the most, was actually embracing myself and the quirks and the differences and not trying to hide them. And it actually started back when I was doing health and wellness coaching outside of network marketing. I started one-on-one health coaching, and I was trying to do what everyone else was doing. I was trying to do the like sexy poses and the, gym star clothing and the butt poses and all that stuff. And I literally couldn't do it. And it was like a joke, but it wasn't a joke. It was actually like I literally couldn't do some of these poses. And so I was like, this feels so fake, so forced. Like I have very good friends who did it, so never ever judged them. I was jealous of them. I was like, why can't I do this? And I just thought at the time, that's what you had to do. That's what everyone was doing. We should look at what the successful people are doing and replicate that in our own way. And I just could not like get it. And finally I was like, maybe that's my own way, is that I am not going to do that. And kind of like poking fun at the fitness industry and making fun of, again, good friends who do it, but making fun of them in a sense, in a lighthearted way. And they loved it. They loved it. No one took offense. They were like, yes, this is great. And so I remember I posted a video that was me trying to do it. And that's really what changed everything. It got more engagement than I've ever gotten. I think
that was your selfie, right? Your butt selfie.
Yep. It was like a video of me trying to do it. And the reason I took the video is people told me you should film yourself so you can get the right spot and then screenshot it, right? Which is actually a great tip for like if you're taking progress photos. And I still do, if I'm doing that stuff, I'll totally do that. And so my intention was actually to get a good pose and then use it. But then I was like, this is so ridiculous. Like I can't get it. And the video was literally me being me because I didn't think I'd post it. It wasn't being planned to post. So talk about like authentic. I wasn't going to post it and ended up being so funny and just so like, this is so ridiculous. Like, look at me trying to do this thing I'm not supposed to be doing. And it just took off. I think we had like 7,500 views, which at the time especially was like huge for my views. It was just a video post on my feed. So many comments, like people sharing it, loving it, and just like, wow, this is great. And so I was like, all right, that like really resonated. So there's something to this. And really decided to just kind of pull back the curtains, I guess you could say, and say, hey guys, this is me on a regular basis. I'm just like kind of putting a face on in a sense. And I started embracing that. That's when the pre-offer brand was created and I just dove in. And then when I switched into business coaching, and that's what's really cool about branding. So if anyone is listening, I'm sure there's a lot of people who do have businesses listening. Don't think that like you have to be so set on something. You're evolve. And yes, I evolved into a different type of coaching, but my brand actually stays the same. When you're thinking of your brand, like it's you no matter what. It's you all encompassing. It's not just your business. Like that is me. And then I have different pillars of the brand, right? And so that started as health and fitness. But then when I moved to business, it totally like went over to the other side very naturally. And so my whole theme with the Pretty Awkward brand is you can build your business by being you 100% unapologetically. And in fact, when you do that, you stand out and people connect with you. And that's when they go, wow, not only does she have strategy and all that, the technical stuff I want, but she's someone I could connect with. I could laugh with. I could kind of be friends with and feel approachable, but also like she knows her shit kind of thing. And that really was what took off. Like I've had so many clients, we started conversations because of Greatest Showman or Harry Potter or like something I like and something I shared. And they're like, me too, I love that. And that's how we literally start talking. And now some of them are my most loyal clients. And it just started on a like human connection. And it's kind of bringing the social back to social media. And that's kind of how I've approached it. And it makes way less pressure on you as a business owner because you just have to be yourself and you're not like trying to put on this face. And it's really nice. It's really real. And it's hands down been the reason I've been able to grow this. And I definitely encourage my audience and my clients to do the same.
Oh my gosh, there's just so much in that because the fact that it's so easy to, even if you're not in business, like I see people doing it. I travel all the time. Everyone is branding themselves.
Yeah.
Even if they're not in a business, they're branding themselves. And it's so easy to feel like we have to show up in a certain way and we can't be real. But what happens is like the real connection, the real social media is when you do show up authentically and people are like, oh my God, I resonate with that. Like I was trying to take a selfie and I struggled so hard, like all these things. And I think we need more of that. I'm so thankful for all you do is like, we need to be more real in social media. Like it is a sickness of it. we keep going in the other direction, it is going to not be good. But there's so
Yeah.
much power to social media on the positive side of things, of being authentic and showing up and having support when you feel like you're not able to connect with anyone else around you. And
Yeah.
having friends that like you meet online for so long, you meet in real life, and you're like, oh my God, we are like so
Yeah.
connected, which is awesome. I think it's so cool that you're
Yeah.
able to do that.
It's been really awesome. And it's just like you said, social media it's a curated feed, right? Like, and when we started, like when I started back in, I guess 2012 is like kind of when I really, really started with social media. Gosh, I feel old. It's like a long time ago. But when I started, it was so many accounts like that. And again, it's working for so many people. Like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, if that's working for you, great, keep going. But it doesn't work for a lot of people. And a lot of people compare themselves and they're like, wow, I feel less than because my life doesn't look like that. And the truth of it is, no one's life actually looks like that. It's just the highlight reel and the curated part. So if you can give them a little hope and like, hey, you can be successful, you can be happy without having that perfect life too, then it gives everyone else like some ease and like, cool, we can all do this. And I think I see it moving in that direction. I see way more people now really sharing their true selves, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, I see that too. And the movement, like, I just want to keep it going because it is so awesome to see. And I'm glad that you're able to inspire other women to do the same thing and to be authentically themselves. And I know that sometimes it's easier said than done, right? It's hard to show up as ourselves, and there's always something that's holding ourselves back. So I'm curious, like, what were some of the biggest roadblocks that you faced as you took these steps and really stepping into yourself and owning Megan Yelaney?
Yeah. Gosh, there's so many. But like the one that comes to mind first that a lot of my clients, everyone I know, and not just my clients, but everyone whose business owner deals with is comparison. And then the second one is what other people will think of them.
Yeah.
So I'll just really quickly start with comparison. I just even had someone today DM me about, she asked me a question about her prices and what she should do, blah, blah. And, oh, well, all these other coaches are doing this and pricing their packages at this. So I should do that, right? And I'm like, whoa, 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 let's like, hold on a second. Let's take a step back and realize that if all you're doing is basing your business on what other people are doing, then your happiness is literally going to result on if it succeeded or not. Like, why don't we kind of not look at what other people are doing and actually stay in our own lane and see what happens? I'm not saying don't get inspiration from people. I think that's great. Definitely follow people who you get inspired by. But if someone's triggering you in a sense where every time you follow them, you're like, oh, I feel less than, oh, I can't do that. Oh, should I be doing that? And you get sidetracked, you get in your head. That's a sign that you probably should unfollow them or mute them on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And not that you don't love them. Like, this could be your good friend, but you might need to do that. And that's okay. I've done that too with like good friends where I'm like, I love you. Can't look at what you're doing right now because it's getting in my head. And that was like, we had a really, really big growth this year in our business. Hands down, it was because I kept my blinders on. I was like, I don't even know what anyone else is doing. So if I heard something, like a piece of gossip or something, which I try to stay out of that. But if I heard it, I'm like, oh, really? I had no clue because I don't know what anyone's doing in a like good way. It's like blissfully ignorant. There's certain things you can be about. And I think that's one is let's stop paying attention to what everyone else is doing. So that was the biggest roadblock was I was paying attention to what everyone was doing, analyzing their content, and then trying to take it and make it my own. And while that's like, I think, again, there's a fine line. There are times where, yes, you have to see what's working and how can you make it your own. I think that's right in a sense. But if it gets to that point where you're obsessing and it's never good enough, it's never like theirs, that's when I'm like, just have a social media detox for a couple of days, get outside, like do something that gets your creative juices flowing, read a fiction book. Like I literally read Harry Potter from April to I just finished the 7th book in what is October for the 3rd time. But I've read it since I was 12. This is my 3rd time reading the series. And it just really got me in that creative, like I'm reading for fun and had my biggest growth ever during that period. So I was like, there's something to this. Just recently started to read a money mindset book, liked it, but then I was like, oh, I really want to read a fiction book again. And so I started to again. It's actually Rachel Hollis, who's like huge personal development guru, but she has like fiction books she used to write first. And I was like, I'm gonna get one of them and read it, and it's great. It's really good. I love it. It's called Party Girl, and it's just like silly and fun. It's kind of like Devil Wears Prada. It's like really similar to that storyline. And I'm just like, that's what I do in the morning for my morning routine before I start my workday. And it lights me up. It gives me joy. It's also like when you're reading fiction, I know I'm kind of going off that tangent, but it's good. I promise. Um, it's good for your writing skills. And a lot of people listening, if you're a business owner, you're also writing and you're podcasting or doing whatever. And it just makes you actually a better storyteller. So I've found it's really helped my writing, reading fiction, learning how to tell a story and noticing certain things. But that went off on a long tangent there, but that's really been one of the roadblocks was comparison. And then the second one, like I was saying, was not caring what other people think.
Staying
That's
in your
huge.
not feeling judged. Yeah.
Not feeling judged. And it can be scary, especially if whether you're a business owner or not, if you're just like sharing your health journey on Instagram, right? Like, what are my parents going to say? What is my family going to say? What are my friends going to say? Are they going to judge me? That so went through my head, 100%. Even to this day, I still block some family from seeing some things just because I feel like, I don't know, especially because I share income stuff, like I'm a business coach, like I feel like weird. I don't want them to think I'm bragging. And again, that's silly. Like right there, that's one big leap I need to coach myself through. And I almost stopped myself doing it a couple of times because I was nervous. My friends watch my story. My friends who aren't in entrepreneurship don't really know what I do for like 100%. It's kind of hard to explain. It's not hard to explain, but it's still like hard for them to comprehend because it's such a new thing. And they're so supportive. Like, even though they don't know what I do, they're like, as long as you're happy, and they're very like hardworking New York City women. So it's great. They're kind of in the same boat. And I was nervous what they're going to say, like Megan sharing her income, blah, blah, blah. And I finally said, you know what, if I'm going to grow, I have to show people what's possible and really sharing like, hey, this is what's possible when you put in this work. And this is what's possible when you do it this way or in a way that feels good. And things started taking off. And I was like, okay. And usually 90% of the time, they're not thinking that, or they won't think that. We just think they'll think that. And so we're stopping ourselves from taking the next step in whatever it is because of what we think people will think, not that we know they're going to think it. And so it's so silly. It's like so ridiculous when we really think about it. We're like, wait, that's stopping me. And I don't even know if that's actually what they're going to say.
Exactly.
So those are the two biggest ones.
Yeah, it's like worrying about it before it even happens. I think we do that so much in like our lives. We worry about the future and like, it hasn't even happened. Why are you worrying about it twice? Like, it's so stupid.
No.
I literally have that conversation with myself on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally.
Also, I feel like with the tangent, I need to go with this. I have a confession to make. I have not read, oh my God, I feel really bad. I'm going to get hate mail after this. I haven't read any Harry Potter books.
How dare you?
I know.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Go read it now.
I know. I would like, I honestly was thinking about yesterday, I'm going to get a library card and go check out a book for the first time in probably 10 years. And it's going to be Harry Potter. And then I'm going to buy the whole set.
I love it.
So because of that, you're inspiring
me
good to go get a fiction book and enjoy it. So I'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah, I'm kind of jealous. I wish that I never read it because the beginning it's just so exciting when you have no clue. Well, you know what's gonna happen. You probably
I know. I watched the movies. I freaking went to London and like saw the film set, and I've like been on the little bridge. I know. I feel like I'm like not undeserving of that because I didn't read the book.
No, not at all. Like, you're gonna love the books. It's like, the thing is, even after seeing the books, going to Harry Potter World, or seeing the movies, going to Harry Potter World, the books are still so exciting. Like, even reading it the third time, I was like, this is still so exciting. So, and they did such, like, this is a Harry Potter Now podcast. They did such a good job of the movies. Like, it's pretty much what I was picturing. I was like, wow, they did a great job. So you'll notice, though, way more in the books that they couldn't put in the movies.
Too much.
Because, you can only be 2 hours or 3 hours. But it's like so much that's missing. That's really exciting. So it's different. It's a different experience. You'll love it.
Oh, can't wait. Okay, good. I'm glad I got that off my chest. I feel so much better. Oh my God.
I love it.
Oh, well, with everything what we've been talking about, just with like hurdles and showing up authentically, and God, there's so many downloads with this that I think people can apply to their lives. Like, what, I know this is another like biggest lesson, kind of like with this obstacles, just overall, like, what are some biggest lessons or big things that you're like, just looking back, if you're looking back at your like 5 year ago or 10 year ago self, you're like, okay, don't worry about this, or this is something I've learned, like, trust me on it. Like, what would you say?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's so many. One of the biggest ones is that nothing is like forever. And that sounds kind of sad. But in a sense, it can be really light it can lighten it up for people. I remember when I was transitioning from Beachbody to my full time, a lot changed in my Beachbody income. Like it literally got cut in half because they switched to digital from DVD. And that was like a big change. And so I was like, oh crap, like that's a significant decrease in my income. Like I was making six figures. So now for it to be cut in half, it was a big deal. Still good income, but when you're spending and used to being at a certain level, you're like, oh crap. So that's when I was like, something's got to go. I've got to change. I've got to shift. And so if I went into it like, this is the end of the world, this is what was supposed to be my life. I was supposed to become a millionaire Beachbody coach, and that was going to be it. That was my life. I literally thought that. I remember telling my husband that. Yeah. And I'm so lucky to have him, because I remember him being like, I'll support you with whatever you do, but I don't think that's what you're supposed to do. He was literally saying it the whole time. He was like, whatever you want, sweetie, but are you sure? Are you sure that's what's going to happen? You know? And I really, and it wasn't that he didn't believe in the company. I think he just believed like, you're supposed to do more than that. And so looking back, I used to get like annoyed at him. Now I'm like, no, you're so right. I'm so glad that he kind of said that. He planted that little seed for me. But if I held on to like, this is the plan, this is how it has to go, then I'd be so disappointed, and I wouldn't have had the incredible growth I've had. So the biggest thing, like out of every lesson I've learned, I think, is realize that your life can change so quickly. It can change literally like in a day. It's nuts how fast it can change if you change your mindset. If you decide, you know what, today I'm going to actually go after that thing I wanted to go after. I'm going to ask for that sale. I'm going to ask that person out I wanted to. I'm going to start my business. Whatever it is for you, I'm going to start my health journey and do it for the right reasons and not give up. Your life can change so fast when you just decide it. When you say, you know what, I'm going to be okay no matter what. And then instead of being like, and I'm a control person, so for my control freaks out there, I like to plan. I like to have my list and all that stuff. So I'm with you. I get it. But you can still have that and be flexible. And that's like a big thing I teach my clients is like, we have plans. We map out launches and all that stuff. And I say, be unattached to the outcome. Have the goal, have the plan, but then be open to it changing. Like maybe you set an income goal and it's supposed to be received from one-on-one clients and your group. But what if you have 2 clients paying full and you have a speaking gig all of a sudden and you end up making more than you planned, but not the way you planned? So that's been a huge lesson too, is not only are things going to change and nothing is like forever, which is kind of nice. But you never know when you're open, you never know what opportunities can come your way that could be better than what you originally planned for. So that's probably the biggest one, I'd say, overarching.
That's good. Let's mic drop. I mean, that gives me chills. Like basically going into something and being super passionate about, this can be with your career, this can be with anything. And like having a plan, like having goals, that there's nothing wrong with that. I love that you say it like that, but then releasing attachment from the outcome. And that's something that actually one of my clients yesterday was talking to me about her weight loss goal. And she went in like thinking about like wanting to hit a specific number, wanting to lose weight. And then it got to the point where she stopped caring about the number on the scale and released attachment from the outcome. And oh my God, her life is changing in so many ways. Like her relationship with her husband is better. Her relationship with her kid is better. Like she's losing weight, but she's like not caring about that. And she's showing up more authentically herself and feeling confident and not hiding anymore. And I mean, I think that's so important. So I'm so glad you're teaching that to your clients. And I mean, you really helped me with that too, just with like releasing attachment when we've worked together. And then also like money mindset and just your mindset in general when you're going into something of like, listen, you can do great things, but then it's like, if it all comes in a different way, like be open to that. So it's so powerful hearing you say that.
Oh yeah. Yes. I love it. It's also, it'll help you guys release attachment to goals when you realize like, yes, we want to set goals and we want to work hard. I'm all about that. But my worth as a human, my happiness is not determinant on if I hit a launch goal, if I make the most money and I truly say that. Like, yes, I like hitting goals and it feels good. I'm not going to lie. And it drives me and I'm super passionate about what I do. But at the end of the day, like if I'm healthy and happy, my husband's healthy, happy, my family, my nieces and nephews, like what I'm singing every week, like that's truly what matters. I would literally give all of my business up if I had to pick one or two. Luckily, we don't have to pick. We get to have both.
We don't have both.
But if I did, it's not even it's a no-brainer. Like I would 100% get into the business. And I love what I do. So that's a huge part of it, is like, are you placing all of your self-worth on your career, on your job, on your weight, on, whatever it is? That really what matters at the end of the day? I love a really great podcast I listen to religiously is Armchair Expert by Dax Shepard. I
Oh,
think I've
Jack
told you about
Shepherd.
that.
Yes.
Like the best
Love
podcast.
him.
So obsessed.
Best.
Again, not like a business podcast, but it's like the only one I like really binge watch,
So good.
binge listen to. But so many nuggets. And he always talks about, like, at the end of the day on his deathbed, like, no one's going to say how many, blockbuster movies did you have, or how many movies were you in, or how well was it reviewed. No one cares about that. It's the making of it. So if we can enjoy the process and the day to day, then that's when all of the results actually start to happen, when you don't just focus on the end goal.
Yeah, no, how the process has been is so important, because it's like, okay, like, once you hit that goal, are you really going to be happy? Like, is that what matters? So I think taking the time to figure out what really matters to you, what are your values, and are you showing up as authentically you in other areas of your life, not just on social media, but just in other areas of your life. And so I'm so glad that you're doing that. You're inspiring women, and it's just, I'm just so thankful for all that you do, Megan. You're absolutely amazing. I want to throw you off a little bit with some rapid fire questions. So before we wrap up, I'm going to throw them out here. Take your time, but try and go really fast. I won't time you. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm so excited. I'm scared.
Oh my God. All right. First one. Favorite word.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God. That was quick. I like that. That's for Meg. I think you're the fastest result on that. Next one. Tacos or pizza?
Pizza. I'm from New York. That's easy.
Okay. So it's got to be New York pizza though, right?
Gotta be New York pizza. Tacos are like my second favorite though. So that's tough.
That is tough, but you're sticking with pizza. Any specific toppings?
I'm a cheese, like all cheese, but I do like buffalo chicken is also one of my favorite specialty slices.
You didn't say pineapple. I'm not a pineapple person.
No. I mean, maybe I'm speaking for New Yorkers, but like every New Yorker I know is like, don't put pineapple on a pizza. You're ruining it.
You're ruining it. I trust New Yorkers. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite dessert?
Oh, ice cream, chocolate ice cream. I'm so simple. I love it.
Oh, simple chocolate. Nice. I'm a big girl myself, but awesome.
Love it.
Favorite sound or noise? That's a weird one.
Oh, that is a weird one. You know what's so funny? My essential oil diffuser is playing right now, and it's like such a subtle sound, but I am obsessed with it. Like just like the sounds of the oil. So I'm gonna say that. That's been my obsession lately. I'm like getting really into it.
You're into the oils. What brand oil? Let's shout them out.
Young Living. My girl Tanner got me into it, and I'm loving them. They're great. Yeah.
Tanner, I know she's all about the oils, and I love them too. But the sound of it is calming for you. That's nice.
It's so calming.
Awesome. Last one, and you can take your time with this one. So obviously this podcast is confidently uncomfortable. So it's all about like pushing yourself, and you got to get a little uncomfortable for that to happen and for you to truly be confident in who you are. So what is one thing you're working toward that is a little bit uncomfortable for you coming up in the near future, but it's like super exciting, but scary, stupid exciting?
Ooh, I love this question. I did a lot of it this year, like hosting my first mastermind event. But now that I've done it, I'm like, oh, it's not as uncomfortable anymore. So I would say wanting to speak in front of really big crowds next year. Or even if it's not huge crowds, like get hired to speak. That's like, it's so exciting, but so terrifying because I imposter syndrome comes in, all that stuff. But that's totally on a docket for 2020. And I'm like, no clue what's happening. No plan yet. But yep, that's what I want to do. So we'll see.
No, you're going to be an amazing speaker. Like I said, people are already inspired just by this podcast, just by all you do. Like getting you on the stage is going to be amazing. So I can't wait for that. Looking forward to 2020.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I kind of want to like add in songs too. I want to make my speeches like part singing. And so I'm like
a musical.
Yeah, like that'll be different, right? So I'm like trying to actually Amanda Bucci started helping me with it. She's like, we need to roll with this. This is going to be great. And I was like, all right, I want to dive into that. So trying to incorporate more of the singing and theater into my business every day. So yeah.
I love that. I mean, you've seen Jonathan Van Ness, he does his comedy and he's doing like gymnastics and dance, which like you would never put them together. Like do it. I could love that idea. So cool. That's amazing, Megan.
Yeah. I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but
It will. But like saying it and speaking it out, I find just that's where it happens. That's where it starts. Megan, thank you for being here today. I truly appreciate you. All you do is just so inspiring for me. Guys, make sure you follow Megan Yelaney. I'll leave it in the show notes, but if you're quick with the trigger, you can go ahead and put in Megan Yelaney. It's MEGANYELANEY, right?
Very good. Yes,
I spelled the last girl's name wrong, so I'm feeling pretty awesome. Well, thank you, Megan. I appreciate you, and I'm just so thankful you could be here today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Bye, girl. I don't know about you, but I cannot believe that it's almost Thanksgiving. I can't believe that it's almost December. Also, I can't believe that Black Friday is right around the corner. So whether you are planning to go out and shop in the real world, may the force be with you, or if you're planning on sitting by your cozy couch and being on your laptop like me, I have some exciting news. So I'm going to be having the biggest sale of the year starting Monday, November 25th. So that's like yesterday. So get on it now. So I'm offering a lot of different things from my Training Naked program. I'm going to be teaching you how to calculate your starting macros. I have a great Good Food Made Simple Lazy Chef recipe guide. I have journal prompts. I have my Get Lifted training guide. And then I'm also doing nutrition and lifestyle audits. So that is where basically I am going to deep dive into your current lifestyle, what you're currently doing, and then what your goals are and how we can set up your 2020 for success. So if you have been searching for just a little bit of guidance and someone to basically like audit your life, that is for you. Those are limited though, so make sure you go and check out the link today because the sale started Monday. It is closing and those spots are limited, but I hope you check it out. And also, whatever you do, whether you're traveling for the holidays, I just wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. It has been a dream being able to connect with you all on the podcast. Every time you reach out to me through DMs or through email or through your reviews, I just feel so grateful because that is why I'm here. I'm here to connect with each and every one of you. So I just wanted to say thank you. I'm feeling all that gratitude around this time of year, and I just appreciate you so, so much. So enjoy your holidays. Thanks again for listening to Confidently Uncomfortable. I love being able to connect with you here and honestly don't want it to end. So head over to my Facebook group, Body Confident Blueprint, and be sure to follow me on Insta at JGoFitLife. Also, if you're ready to get real confidently uncomfortable, go leave this podcast a 5-star review and email me the review screenshot, support@jgofit360.com, for a chance to win a free 30-minute fitness audit and goal setting session. I appreciate your support. See you next time.